Not cheap whatsoever, but it's the way it is. I think that is the best place. That way it's more centered there to the root, to the tiny house, and it's closer to the water storage. Because eventually, guys, I'm going to be putting a rain gutter system in on this complete length of the tiny house with gutter guard, which I have somewhere. The gutter guard is in here somewhere. I have the full length that I need for the eave trough. I just need it installed. It's going to be installed kind of on the outside of the tiny house though, obviously, opposite this wall outside. About this height though, because I got to be below, see where this, the framing is? I got to be below that a little bit, but I want to use as much gravity as I can where I feed the water in off the eave trough through a hole, and then it's going to go through a first flush system that will be indoors because I can't have it freezing, and then the first flush system has to be drained, so it's going to have to drain out of the tiny house, and then the first flush system also has to go into a filter system that I still need to build, and then into the bottom tank for filling. And the top tank I'm not worried about because I have the 12 volt pump there. I just have to, I'm gonna put that on a switch, like one of these, instead of copper clamps. That way, you know, it's more practical. And yeah, should be good. I'm liking it. So that's in the future though. That's when you guys come in handy with the Patreon memberships and thumbing up my YouTube videos. All that adds up and helps me rank on YouTube, so I can actually make a little money on there. And especially Patreon, that's a guaranteed $1 a month to me. If I had a quarter of my subscribers from YouTube go to my Patreon and sign up for only $1 a month, I would be set. Only a quarter of them. And then you'd get all my videos before everybody else, all ad-free, all uncut, unedited basically, and you guys get to enjoy that. And you can also talk to me through Patreon, see what's going on. And like I say, big shout out to Pam on Patreon. She's a super loyal member, given, I won't say the amount even though it's public, giving her donation to help support me in the Off-Grid Tiny House, and also Pierre. Big shout out to him as well. So the more Patreon people I get, guys, the faster I can get stuff done in the tiny house. And because I know I've heard from people, like people on YouTube, they're like, well, why are you working on this thing so slowly? Well, I work full time. I have to, most of that money goes to bills. The whole point of the tiny house is it's going to eliminate most of my bills. And I can't move in here full time just yet. And because I'm in the middle of, I'm basically saving for a giant battery bank. Well, it's not very giant, but 6 batteries, which is going to cost me nearly $2,000 plus. And that's going to be a huge dent. And then I'm saving for a wood stove and all that equipment. And then I got to save up for rain catchment. Like, I need to hire a company to come out, build me a custom long gutter system, and then I can go from there. Cell phone, guys, be back. Alright, yeah, that was just my dad calling, checking in on me, guys, and he's doing well. My uncle's over there apparently, and for a visit. Yeah, he's I'll give you guys the date that I filmed this video. Saturday, August the 18th, and it's 20 after 1 in the afternoon. And yeah, he goes in Thursday. I drive him down, always, for his appointment. He gets his checkup, his usual checkup, and he will get the results from his PET scan. Oh no, CT scan, not a PET scan. PET scan's last. CT scan, he'll get his results. We're all eager to know what's going on. And I'm actually going to switch my dad over to, we should have did this earlier, but a lot of info's come out that Roundup residue has been found on a lot of the cereals in the grocery stores. So we're going to switch him to, he likes Cheerios. I like Cheerios. I like the multigrain myself, but he likes the Honey Nut. So I'm gonna eventually, we gotta go out for groceries sometimes. I'm gonna get him on organic type of Cheerio cereal, because he likes his cereal, guys. So I'm gonna get him on that. But we should have hit that sooner, because most of that crap in the cereal aisles, unless it says organic, is probably not too hot for you. So, and I probably did a bunch of damage to myself, because 1 year, I think it was, yeah, 1 year I lived off of just cereal. It was horrendous. So I'm not a big cereal fan anymore. You live off different brands of cereal for a year, you won't want to eat cereal again either. So yeah, so there's that. So yeah, so all's good in that regard. I need to, I was tempted to maybe put one of these solar panels up, but because the tiny houses have, well, this tiny house and my dad's trailer, which isn't a tiny house, it's a storage, are moved together, it shouldn't matter too much, but I don't have the tape with me to do that job, or the silicone, so that's kind of scrapped. And I was getting into all the stuff I was saving up for future, like, and I forgot to mention the trim as well. So all those pieces of trim, I'm just gonna clean the store out, because I think they only got like 10 pieces, 10 lengths, and then I'm obviously gonna have to cut each one to fit, and then hopefully my dad has some type of brad nailer, and I can just nail these things in, and that way they stay put and look a hell of a lot better. I believe Pierre gave me the idea. He messaged me on Facebook there and was talking to me about hiding those damn seams that I don't like, and I agree, definitely, that's got to be done. So lots of work to go, guys. The trim is going to be needed, though that could be like a winter project. I may go and buy that stuff though. That way I have it, and I can just throw it in the tiny house, and then if I have time and I got a saw, I can start putting it up. That's a good idea. I may do that, because I do have a little bit of money at this point in time to spend on that, so I could go get trim. Now the other thing I need is, like I say, I'm saving up for the battery bank, I'm saving up for a wood stove, and then I'm saving up for almost, the most important thing in my mind is water source. I'm going to get an eave trough that runs one side of the tiny house only for now. I can do the other side later when I get money, but if I get one side in, see how well it works, plumb it into the tiny house, plumb it into my first flush system in the tiny house, and then plumb that into a filter system, Black Berkey filter, and that should take care of my needs. And like I say, this could be drinking water in a pinch, but I'm going to be using it for washing, cleaning, showering, anything else I need it for. anything for drinking or cooking, I will do store-bought, or I will boil the shit out of that water once it's been filtered. And then maybe chance it. Who knows? But that will, you know, that's all future plans. Everything's coming together, guys. It's just the speed I'm going at is the pace I can go at right now with the funding that I have from you guys online. From YouTube and from Patreon. And the Patreon money I haven't even spent. It's sitting in the PayPal account, and it's going to be used for another MPPT charge controller, which I will eventually need. Though, what I may do, depending on the amount in there, if I'm able to pay the wood stove company with PayPal, which is all Patreon funded, that money will cover some cost of the wood stove. It's not going to cover everything. The wood stove, almost, with all the equipment for the wood stove, it's almost going to cost me as much as the battery bank. So, you know, that's $2,000 there, $2,000 there. We're up to $4,000. We got more money to go put in for trim. We got painting to do. I'm gonna ditch these paint cans today, actually, because I'm pretty sure they're pooched. And what else was I? And then the eave trough situation as well, the rain catchment, which is kind of major, guys. You know. And like I say, if the nice thing about the rain catchment deal, I can leave it so if I'm not living here full time and it's capturing water, I can bypass it and just let it rip right out the first flush system. Not that you want to, but if you're not able to, you know, maintain the temperature in here, you're gonna have freezing issues and a whole lot of issues. So better let the water just rip and let it drain, and then you're not having issues. But it's kind of a waste of water if you ask me. But that's why I'm kind of doing the water catchment last in the project, because the closer I get to actually moving in here and maintaining a constant, comfortable temperature and able to watch things, then I can bring the water source in and everything's happy that way. So hopefully you guys understand and the methods of my madness here. And yeah, please help me out if you can. If you can't afford $1 a month, I don't know, guys. It would sure help me. And if you can't do the Patreon thing, just hit the thumbs up button on every single one of my videos. That will help me for sure. So you can do that passively, and that will help me out. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.